Hi, Brint Fanizza here, also known as the Scissor Man, founder and creator of Famore Cutlery, wanting to welcome all of the creatives out there to our company. You know, every company has a right-hand man. Every successful company has somebody that brings some added flavor and direction to the company, and that is my vice president, Mr. Sebastian Rivera.
Hi everybody, it's nice to be speaking with you today, and for all of you watching, we're very excited to talk to you a little bit about our company and our products here today.
And Sebastian has been with our company for almost a decade and has brought a lot of great things to the company.
So 10 years is a long time.
Well, 22 years I've been here. So
yeah, speaking of 22 years, why don't you tell us a bit about how Famore Cutlery came to be and how and why we're here today.
Well, that's a long story.
We've got time.
A long time ago. So, no, the company was founded 22 years ago. I used to be a pitchman. I used to demonstrate different products at home shows, boat shows, car shows.
Don't they call those snake oil salesmen?
No. Anyway, for those of you that are old enough that remember Billy Mays, we worked with
Yes.
we worked together with the same company, and I came across a gentleman that had a booth at all the shows that we would attend to, that had all these little gadgets, everything from manicure, pedicure,
nail clippers.
Surgical items, marine items, you name it, he had it, and he was always busy. And we were at a show, and it was one of the slowest shows I've ever done in my life. It was at the Miami International Home Show, and it was during a hurricane. And,
late 90s.
Yeah, and nobody came to the show. And they had a dog or greyhound rescue mission thing at the show.
Okay. Yeah.
So people had greyhounds there.
Right.
And I was selling this item called the Shannon. Some of you may have remembered the synthetic chamois.
Big yellow towel.
Yeah, it absorbs a ton of liquid.
Right.
And part of the demonstration is how you could absorb the moisture out of carpet and get it all. Well, a dog had decided to stop right in front of my booth, and
it sold itself.
The little piddling. So the owner wasn't going to pick it up because the owner didn't have anything to pick it up. And I told the owner, I said, look, I says, I don't expect you to buy anything. I said, but all I do expect you to do is stay here and watch my entire demonstration. So I showed him how the chamois worked, and I had gotten a pretty big crowd, and everybody bought the chamois when I went down and picked up every bit of that dog pedal that his dog left and put it in a pan. So the guy that had this booth, he said that was the most amazing demonstration I ever saw. He said, he says, I want to buy you a drink. So bought me a drink, we started talking, and we became friends, and eventually he said, you know what, he says, I'd like to sell this business. And I was kind of interested in purchasing another business, and at that time, it was just, there was no quality. He was buying from different importers and kind of flea markety kind of stuff, and had fun with it. And I ended up signing up for a show here at the Infinite Energy Center. Back then it was the Gwinnett Civic Center.
Right, yeah.
For those of you that here in just outside of Atlanta, Georgia. And it was the original Sewing and Craft Expo. Today it's called the Original Sewing and Quilt Expo, but then it was the original Sewing and Craft.
That's a big change.
It was a big change. And we get there, and it was literally the smallest show I had ever done. We got there was only like 2 rows of vendors. And
how many booths do you think?
Maybe 20, at that.
Right.
And I was lucky enough at the time to have a vendor that was to the right of me. Her name was Clotilda. And I had a vendor to the left of me, Margaret Islander, who are 2 incredibly famous people in our industry, which I didn't know who they were to begin with. Right. Was doing really good at this show. For as small as the show was, everybody was pretty impressed with all the different kinds of things that we had. And this lady that was next to me, Clotilda, who happened to be one of the very first women in our industry that had a home catalog sent to them. All day long, these women would come up to her and they would say, you know, well, how do you do this? How do you do this? How do you do this? And Clotilda was sitting there and just giving all this information out on how to do this. And she had different projects she'd reach underneath. Well, this is how I do this and this is how And I went up to her and I said, ma'am, I said, you have to be the most stupidest lady I've ever met.
You insulted her.
Yeah. And she looked at me and she says, excuse me? I said, you are sitting here giving your trade secrets away.
Right.
And I said, and the women, I said, they're walking away and you're left empty-handed.
Yeah.
And she looked at me and she said, well, she said, if you make it in this business.
Right. She took that insult and kind of recycled it back to you.
Yeah. She said, if you make it in this business, she says, you will learn there are no secrets. And she proceeded to get off her booth and she said, let me come over and see what you have. And she looked at everything I had and she said, you're onto something, but she said, this isn't going to cut it. Literally. She said, this is not going to cut it.
Yeah.
So she said, but we need somebody like you that's got the ability, that has the connections, that can bring us the tools that we need and that we want. And she says, and I will teach you everything I know about the scissor business. About a quality scissor, if you'll listen.
Right.
And we became incredibly good friends. She taught me a lot that I needed to know. And then I quickly realized that I needed to either get incredibly serious about the industry that I was exhibiting at, or find a complete different industry. Mm-hmm. And I was incredibly attracted to this industry. The people were some of the most kindest people you'd ever meet, some of the most giving people you'd ever meet. And then that's when I decided to start looking for a factory to build our product. And I really just didn't want a factory making our product. I wanted to be directly involved in the manufacturing process. And long story short, here we are today, 20 years later, directly manufacturing the Famore product line and distributing the product all over the world.
Definitely, yeah. It's a lot of work, a lot of blood, sweat, and tears. Definitely a lot of blood when you're in the scissor business.
But yeah, you get the stab, poked.
Yeah, stab, poke, cut, slash. All those, come with the territory. We also kind of want to talk about what does set our brand apart from what is out there.
Well, so when I first started manufacturing and really focusing on the crafting world, I wanted to create the highest quality product at the most affordable price.
We'll tell them.
And creating a quality tool for a creative mind. That was my mission statement, and that's what I really I was compelled with was to create a quality tool for a creative mind. And the creativity, the passion that you have for your creation is what fuels my passion in creating the products that we do.
Yeah, and it really does help that we have control of our manufacturing. We get to go to our factory and, sit down with our labor and actually see how it's made and make sure that it's made in the way that we believe our customers expect their products to be.
Well, yeah, which is very important. And, a lot of this innovation doesn't come from me or you. It comes from you. It comes from you, the creator, telling us what these products need to be, should be, what you want them to be. And we take all that information and we take it back to the factory and we start sketching it out and creating wax molds and this and that and the other, and bringing them to market, finding out how they need to be tweaked and so on and so forth. But you are right, having the ability to be directly involved in the manufacturing process, be involved in the quality control process, and then when the products get here, having a second quality control aspect of it, we want to assure all of our customers that you're just not getting a scissor, you're getting an experience. And we want that experience to be incredibly joyful. We make products that are, you know, I tell people we don't make scissors, we make extensions of our artist's hands. And if the tool that you're using is not great, the project that you're going to be making isn't going to be great. So we want our product to be as good as your hand, if not better.
Yeah, definitely. I would say that as far as that quality control goes, we do have people at our factory that actually use the product before they pass it. And then when it comes through our doors, it's either me teaching one of our great warehouse employees to do that final check before it gets packaged and sent out to the customers. Now, we don't always get it out 100%, and that's okay.
Well, everybody makes mistakes. I mean,
Well,
we're not perfect.
That's where our guarantee comes in, right? We guarantee our product is going to function as advertised. As you take it out of that package, it's going to work as expected. And if it does not, we're more than happy. You call us here, you email us, you get a human response. You get an actual person is going to call you back if we're not here, if it's after hours, or if you call during our work hours. We're going to pick up the phones and we're going to talk to you and make sure that any problems that you have are taken care of.
Well, at the end of the day, it's about your experience. And if you get the product that you ordered, and it wasn't quite exactly what you ordered. I mean, we just had a lady call us the other day. She ordered a really small scissor off the website. When she got it, she realized it was a little too small and it wasn't going to be strong enough to cut what she needed to be cutting. And so I just simply asked her, I said, well, explain to me what you are cutting so I can better, and ended up talking her into getting the right scissor. And her response was, I'm going to be telling all my friends about your company. And, you know, if it's too tight, if it's too loose, if you want it to be a little bit sharper for much more, these are things that we can do because we manufacture the product. And, you know, one of the great things is when you order from us, you're just not placing an order and that's it. You get us for as long as you own the product, because if the product, if you drop the product and you nick the product, or if you're cutting your project and you hit a pen and nick the blade, well, you can send it back to us for as long as you own it, and we'll sharpen it for as long as you own it. And that's a service in itself that goes a long way.
Yeah, our sharpening guarantee does go pretty far. I mean, we've gotten some, even these little snips here where some of your husbands like to use as a screwdriver, which we don't recommend. We can fix that. We're more than happy and able to fix it. So all of our product does come with a sharpening guarantee, and you just pay for the shipping, and we do all the work after that. Send them back to you 1 to 3 business days usually. Once it comes through our doors.
I will say this: if your husband uses this for a screwdriver, I've got a great divorce attorney.
Yeah, we can send you the paperwork. We can definitely get you set up.
But I would say that we can fix or repair the problem 95% of the time.
Right.
There are those times that the damage is so much that it's just unrepairable, and stuff happens.
Or it's happened where if you get your scissors, I mean, it's as long as there's steel left on the scissors. We've got some companies that will send their scissors over so many times that there's just a point, there's really no way we can fix it. But, we do our best, and, if there's a point where we find that there's an error in our manufacturing, we replace that product as well. So we have a very comprehensive guarantee, manufacturer's warranty, and then sharpening, reconditioning, which you can get other brands also sharpened, and we do have on our website all the information for that as well. There is a fee for it, but for our brand, we only charge the shipping.
Yeah. And with that said, being manufacturers and knowing how the scissors function and the way they're supposed to function gives us the ability to be able to sharpen other brands when other brands don't offer the service themselves. Right. Which doesn't make sense to me, but anyway.
Hey, that's their company. We got ours.
Right?
We do what we can.
But make a long story short on our customer service, if you call our company, you're going to get us. You're going to get a human that's going to answer, and you're going to get somebody that's going to that's going to want to understand your issues and try to rectify them.
You might even get me. You might talk to me. I might tell you about scissors, or we could talk about something else. Sometimes I got extra time.
And if you get him,
I'm very kind. I get cards and letters of how great
you do. And I get Cadbury chocolates from the UK.
One time. So because as well, I kind of going back to being our own manufacturers, our pricing and for the quality beats out.
And the service.
It just beats out anybody out there. Not to malign, there's plenty of other great brands out there. But, our pricing is very comprehensive, with the sharpening services, with the manufacturing guarantees, with the customer service. You can call, you can email. We know our stuff pretty well, not just the scissors, but what you're going to use them for. He's got over 22 years of experience talking to educators, talking to
designers, end users, industry leading experts.
We might not be sewing, appliquing, quilting, but we understand it. We've been seeing it, we've been studying it. We talk to the manufacturers of the machines. We know all those guys that sell and make and use the machines.
We work with some of their factories.
Yeah.
But, a lot of people don't realize, what goes into a scissor. There are different types of scissors, and there's different types of manufacturing of scissors. There's your really inexpensive line that's stamped, ground and polished, a hole drilled in it, an edge put on it, and screwed together, and that's it. All of our scissors are forged scissors. So what we do is we take a piece of steel, we get it to over 2,000 degrees, we put it in a die, a hammer comes down at 2,000 pounds and smacks it a few times to force it into its shape. Literally each one of our scissors goes through a minimum of 64 processes by hand. So they're very labor-intensive items.
And we're hoping in the future to make some videos to show you how we make our scissors and
we'll
how it is that we go from a raw piece of steel to these beautiful polished tools that we have here in front of us today. With our product offerings, we do offer a lot of the standards that are out there, like our 9-inch dressmaker shears.
You're right. We have the standard, which are items that'll be here today, tomorrow, next week, next month, next year.
In their sewing room or their craft room.
We literally make everything from the traditional 8-inch bent trimmer. We even make a little junior sewist 6-inch.
It's a great scissors.
It's an incredible scissor.
Yeah. Especially if you're new at sewing, or if you have a young person that's learning to sew. It fits their hands very comfortably. It even fits our big hands real comfortably. So, it's a very versatile, heavy-duty small scissors that you don't really see every day in a lot of our other brands out there.
And it could be an heirloom project. So if you're buying this for your daughter, your niece, or your nephew, or your grandchild, they can actually hand this down to their children when they start to sew.
Yeah, you buy that once, you don't need it again.
Right. If you take care of it properly,
of course.
And we also make, the dressmaker shears, the 9-inchers, and we even make serrated trimmers for serrated.
Would you give us a little sound of that 9-inch shear, just so everyone can hear that? Yeah. Nice and smooth, no nicks, no scratching, nothing like that.
Hold on. A scissor does talk. We also, we make a right-handed, we also make a left-handed, true left-handed scissors. These aren't just scissors that have left-handed handles on them. These are true left-handed scissors, and we'll get into that in another episode. But we also make, the traditional straight trimmers, for trimming. We make applique scissors, and we make a variety of applique scissors. applique is huge.
Probably the most diverse line of stuff we make is applique scissors and embroidery scissors.
Right, because the techniques continuously change or
Size
they
of
get
the
modified.
projects, yes.
You know,
Yes.
and as the techniques improve, so do our scissors. But you know, we have the traditional 6-inch duckbill applique scissor. We also have, I designed the little 4.5-inch duckbill applique scissor.
The duckling.
The duckling. And we even made the duckling in a left-handed, and we also made the 6-inch applique scissor in left-handed. And then our latest creation is
Mini
the
duckling.
little mini duckling. So it starts off as a baby, and it becomes a teenager, and then it becomes a grown-up. So yeah, all stages of life.
Yes.
So we make a variety of those. We also make embroidery scissors,
Yeah,
thread
double
scissors.
curve, they come in different sizes, different bends to the handles. You know, we have the basics, but we have the more specialized tools, the ones that you're gonna really need when you're making a kind of specific project, and you gotta really get close to your seam lines, or you gotta get over a hoop. There's different size hoops that we're dealing with, so we've got different bends to our scissors that will get you over those hoops.
Well, and also all these different fabrics that are out there. So you know, one scissor may be great for a chiffon or a silk, but may not be good for a wool or a cotton.
Faux fur, yeah.
Faux furs, the synthetic materials, the polyesters,
Right.
things like that. So that's all the stuff that comes with our customer service. You know, if you don't quite know what you need to order, you can always call us up and we can
Yeah.
guide you through the right product for you.
We know fabric people too, and they tell us what works best on their fabrics.
Absolutely.
Shannon Fabrics is a great company that we work with.
I
and
love Shannon
yeah,
Fabrics.
they will definitely tell us exactly what works with their cuddle, their faux furs, their minkies.
Oh God, their minkies and their cuddles are absolutely
They have a
some
luxe
of the most
cuddle.
plush.
The Lux cuddle that they came out with is ridiculous. I mean, you make a blanket out of that, or the onesie that they made you.
So they did make me a onesie out of it, and maybe one day I'll.
Or maybe you'll get cold enough to wear it, because
Yeah,
I mean,
now-
that thing keeps you warm for sure.
And we'll do one of these in my onesie. But
Sure, yeah.
I did wear it at the Houston International Quilt Festival
A couple of years ago.
a couple of years ago.
And you were sweating bullets, because it was, even though it was a little chilly that day, it was not enough. That onesie is for like sub-zero temperatures.
But what we're trying to say is we've got scissors that'll cut everything for anything. We have really specialized little micro tip scissors with really sharp points on them, large rings to get in and out of them easily. It comes in a straight and a curve. We even make a little itty bitty tiny scissor, and you know what? It cuts. Cut with that.
And even though I've got these fat fingers, I can get these in here, and
It works. Ah.
Kind of going back to the left-handed scissors, we want to emphasize the fact that we have 6 different styles of left-handed scissors that no one else is making, and we're not done yet. We're working on more. We're making more left-handed scissors. We want to serve our left-handed creators better, because they've been forgotten, and for the most part you can find an 8-inch bent trimmer, you can find a 6-inch duckbill in left-handed, but for the smaller scissors you can't always get your hands on a good pair of true left-handed. So we are working, we want to add 3 to 4 more SKUs, more offerings for the left-handed scissors to the 6 that are already available. So we do want to bring that up to 10, and at some point, maybe in another year or so, we will have a full left-handed scissor kit, which I don't think anyone's really making, again, the true left-handed kits or the offerings that we have.
Well, so talking about the uniqueness of our line, we even make, batting shears. For those of you that quilt out there that have ever cut batting off of a roll,
Yeah.
you'll always know that if you've used a traditional pair of scissors, that bottom tip continuously snags the batting, and it's a pain. This shear we designed, and for those of you that may know, Linda V. Taylor from Linda's Electric Quilters, one of the pioneers in long arm quilting, was the one that helped me design this shear. So Linda, if you're watching this, miss you. But the tip of this is rounded,
Right.
so it glides through the batting and it'll never snag. And I tested this on all kinds of material. I tested it on poly batting, wool batting, silk batting, cotton batting, even tried pantyhose. Spent the night in jail, but it didn't snag. So not really.
We'll add a sound effect of like drums.
We also make rag quilt shears for rag quilting, or for real heavy duty canvases, denims, leathers, things like that. This thing will cut over 96 layers of fabric. We make our larger snips more for the composite materials, foams, rubbers. A lot of the
cosplayers love to use EVA foam.
Oh yeah.
And EVA foam will kill a pair of scissors. So we created these snips here that are in curved and will come out in straight as well. The two, the blades will be straight. We got the curved blades. They will cut your heavy leathers, your light leathers, your EVA foam. If you're messing with carbon fiber, this thing will slice right through it. And when you dole them, because you will, you send them back and we sharpen them. You don't have to buy a new pair. You've got a pair that's going to last you.
Nothing stays sharp forever. You can ask my ex-wife, she'll tell you that. But anyway, we also even manufacture these little snips, and these little snips are really handy for whenever you're just wanting to trim your threads at your machine. If some people use them as a seam ripper, but even these can be resharpened.
Yeah.
And
you get about 3 sharpenings out of those when they're treated properly, because sometimes they do get abused.
And we also even manufacture a little suture stitch scissor. So we got this idea from the medical world,
right,
as a suture scissor, and just modified it for the sewing, quilting, and embroidery industry. And we also manufacture different kinds of tweezers. So posable tweezers, when you squeeze them, they open. When you close them, when you let go, they close. We also even make a really fine needle point tweezer, also great for splinters, not just for your threads and embroidery.
Yeah, it's great having a warehouse full of tweezers sometimes.
Yeah, absolutely. And we also manufacture kits, so unique different kits. We listen to what our customers have to say.
Definitely.
A lot of people go to classes, different in-store events or trade shows, consumer shows where they have classes and they want to be able to take their product, zip them up, throw it in their bag.
Yeah, this is a great gift idea, or a kit for yourself. You know exactly where they go. They got a place to be put into. You don't have to worry about them knocking around, getting nicked or burred just by being in just a bag. When we sharpen at trade shows, we get a Ziploc bag many times. We get a Ziploc bag with an assortment of scissors just like this. First of all, let's just say these do not belong in a Ziploc bag with big 9-inch shears. You will damage them really badly.
Shamey.
So, we couldn't fit everything here because we're kind of limited on space. I mean, there's so much more that we offer. We also have this blue bad boy over here on the right.
So this was a project that took about 4 years from start to finish.
This is our first time into the kitchen category. So this is our kitchen shear. It does completely pull apart. It will never pull apart while you're using it. If you've ever noticed the kitchen shears that come with your knife set, if you open it really wide, that little locking mechanism tends to pop out.
Well, and the reason for that, Sebastian, and for those of you that are out there, if you have a break apart shear right now, take a look at it. Chances are the bottom blade has just a little square notch that is made, and you have to, and the screw is squared as well, so you have to line it up and fit it in there like a puzzle piece, and then it closes. When you sharpen it a couple of times, when you open it fully up, when the screw shape matches the hole shape, it comes apart.
Right.
So when we decided to make this, I didn't want that to ever happen. I wanted a complete, unique, different way of it coming apart. And we had finally come up with this mechanism. So it's completely notched out, and you tilt it in, and it comes like that. So no matter how much you open it up, it's not going to come apart. It also has very nice serrated edges. It is a blue titanium coating, guaranteed not to rust or tarnish, and it'll cut pretty much anything.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I really love the titanium coating. Like you said, you don't get blemishes, you don't get rust, you don't have any issues with anything penetrating that coating, like anything acidic, like with lime juice, lemon juice, stuff like that. But this thing, yes, it does make cutting things in the kitchen a lot easier. And moving a little bit forward, talking about the future, we got some things in store for everybody. Yeah. So we've never made a rotary blade, and not for ourselves,
right? And the reason that we do rotary blades for others, but we've never really got into the market because
we're perfectionists to a fault as well when it comes to bringing in new products.
Right, and there's a lot of good blades on the market, but there's a lot of
Amazon likes to, people sell things on Amazon. You can buy 100 blades for $1 each, and who knows,
you get what you pay for.
30 of those might not even work.
But so when I decided that I wanted us to go into the direction of a rotary blade, I wanted us to do something that was completely different, that had never been done before, that has never been available to you. So how many years?
I think we're on the 4th year of doing our research and development on it.
4th year?
Yeah.
It seems like a lifetime.
It does.
But since then, we have developed, drum roll please,
I can't drum.
a solid,
No rhythm.
A solid tungsten carbide rotary blade. Now, for those of you that aren't familiar with tungsten carbide, I'm sure you know somebody that is familiar with tungsten carbide.
So ask them.
Yeah, ask them. It is literally the hardest. It's harder than titanium.
It's a hard steel.
It's 4 times harder than titanium.
But what is all
and
that?
And it's 5 times harder than steel
for the cutting.
Well, and I'm getting there.
Yeah. So
the harder the steel,
yeah,
the longer the blade will last, and the sharper you can get the edge.
Correct.
So a traditional rotary blade on the high end are anywhere between 59 to 62 to 65 maximum. The Rockwell hardness on our tungsten carbide is a 75 plus, which is amazing. The only thing harder than our rotary blade, tungsten carbide, is diamonds.
Gotcha.
So, it will be the sharpest, longest lasting rotary blade you will own, and we're taking it a step further because it is going to be a high-end blade. It's not going to be cheap, and it's not going to be for everybody.
Well, it's a professional.
It's a professional.
Grade,
it is a professional grade.
Yeah,
and
you're not just cutting little light fabrics with this.
But we are going to be introducing our domestic SKS7 rotary blade, which is
we will have a standard 45 millimeter rotary blade that is for everyone, right? And then we will come out with this tungsten carbide blade, which no consumer market has ever had before.
So once you fall in love with the one blade, and maybe you're a crafter that does a lot of crafting and doesn't like the changing of your blade as often, you can switch to this blade. This blade will come with a sharpening service.
Yes.
So we have actually developed a industrial rotary blade sharpening machine that has been pretty fun to work with the company that's developed it for us, and we have just finalized the right compounds, the right wheels, the diamond wheels, the diamond embedded paste to be able to resharpen these things at. But so you can literally buy a blade, and that blade lasts you.
Could last you a year. Could last you a year. Let's just say a year, and
Right.
see what we can really extend that from there.
But it can last you a lot longer because you can always send it back to us and get it resharpened.
And now some people might be thinking, I've seen rotary blade sharpeners out there, right? Those are problematic. Just like the home scissor sharpening or the knife sharpening home things.
There's plenty of gimmicks on the market.
It'll get you, this far, right? But this sharpening system that we are acquiring and learning to use.
It's what they use in the factories when they actually are manufacturing this.
It's an industrial sharpening system, so it'll allow us to, one, we don't like to waste here. We don't believe in buying something just to throw away right away. We want you to get the most out of it. And traditionally, rotary blades have been a consumable product that you buy one time. Once you're done with it, you chuck it. Not anymore, right? You can send them back to us. We're figuring out all the pricing. I've got it somewhere. I don't have it here in front of me, but it's, of course, very agreeable. You send it back to us, we sharpen your blades, you get them back, and now you've got, 2-3 more lives out of it. And the tungsten carbide, we've tested it on many materials.
Oh yeah.
Hard leathers, EVA foam. I mean, this thing cut carbon fiber a couple times.
Composite materials. Rotary blade has never been able to cut Kevlar. Kevlar is the material that bulletproof vests are made out of. Kevlar is also used as an insulation.
Fire resistant.
Right.
Stuff like that.
This blade can actually cut Kevlar with a slight modification to it, but
Right.
it cuts carbon fibers like a knife through hot butter. Polyester is a really hard material for any cutting instrument, whether it be a rotary blade or a scissor.
Mm-hmm.
And this blade will cut your polyesters, like he said, your foams, your leathers, your faux furs, cardboard, whatever you need to cut, it's going to cut it.
Yep. You might need some new cutting mats after using that blade. We have had a few of our testers actually mention.
Well,
that
the problem,
they're used to putting a lot more pressure
Right.
with the regular blade, so you might have to just get a little bit of a learning curve with how much pressure you put. You just don't have to put that much effort into it, basically.
right, and we'll get into that when the time comes.
Yeah, we're gonna get into the cutting mat business next.
No, we're not. Trust me, Olfa makes a great.
No,
great
yeah, we
cutting
would
mat.
never. That's the whole.
Quilter Select makes a really
We'll
great
make the
cutting
things
mat.
that you'll use to cut on top of the cutting mats. We won't make cutting mats.
Well, you know what? Really quick.
Yeah.
Can I just need to. For those of you that are left-handed, right-handed people measure from left to right. Left-handed people measure right to left.
Mm-hmm.
Did you know that?
This is a joke.
No.
Are you making a funny?
No, but the cutting mats are generally all printed for right-handed people.
Okay. Yeah.
Alex Anderson, a good friend of ours,
Mhm.
name dropping here. Alex, if you're watching this, we love you, baby. Miss you. She has actually come up with, because she's left-handed, she has come up with an ambidextrous cutting mat that has the measurements that go from right to left and left to right.
Gotcha.
Absolutely amazing. So if you're a left-hander out there that's looking for a true left-handed cutting mat to go along with your true left-handed scissors, look at Quilter Select product for their cutting mats.
And our with the rotary blades, we are coming out with a rotary handle, which is pretty standard for our 45 millimeter blades, and it will also be left and right.
Correct. And it's going to be a little bit of a design, again, because we don't want to be copycats. We want to be innovative, and we want to make sure that you have an innovative tool that's going to give you a great experience. This handle is brand new on the market. Never been seen, never been used. So we're excited to introduce that with our Tungsten Carbide blades and our SKS 7 blades. So, which will be able to fit on any, you know, our blades are going to be able to fit on 99.9% of all the blades that are out there. So if you've got your favorite handle, our blades will.
You don't have to change your handle to use our blades.
And we will have a list of all of the blades or all of the handles that they will fit on, and we will have a section on the handles that they will not fit on, because we don't want somebody to, you know, get
We'll put it all on our website.
Yeah.
It'll be a nice little page you'll go to, and you can see the yays and the nays.
Right. So, is that you think? You think we bored them enough today?
I think so.
Well, folks, listen. We want you to stay tuned, stand by, because we will be bringing you more videos and discussing more of our topics and some of our partners that we work with.
Sure.
And
yeah, we're looking to do something every week or every 2 weeks. We'll release it here on Facebook, and we'll be, like you said, we'll be getting in depth into our tools, how to use the tools, what's coming up next. You know, once those rotary blades are available, we'll do a very extensive video with us cutting a whole mess of things. I mean, we'll just show you this thing in action. And we won't, you know, there won't be any tricks, because it's going to be live. It's going to be like happening right then and there.
Okay. Right. And, you know, if you have a question about a cutting instrument that you have, or any question that you'd like to ask us, email us. We'll bring it up in one of these Facebook Lives.
Oh yeah, definitely. You can always send us send us an email or a Facebook Messenger message. Yeah. And we can always,
or on Instagram or wherever.
Yeah, sure. I mean, you send us letters. You could messenger pigeons, smoke signals. We'll be posted up outside. We'll take all our messages and we'll answer any questions here on our videos. Yep. So stay tuned for our future videos coming up.
Yeah, and if you have an idea for a product, maybe it's a product that's already out there that you feel needs to be modified to do something, you can always call us and we can take a look at it, and we'd love to hear about it. So thank you for watching. Stay safe, stay happy, stay healthy, and hashtag stay sharp.